Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hope everybody's doing great. I am doing fine. Just ate dinner. Haven't been going out a lot lately. There's just been so much aggressive energy, and I would rather be by myself than have to keep on maneuvering through that until it passes, and hopefully it will soon. I haven't kept up with the state of astrology. Last I heard, Saturn was in retrograde. I'm not sure if it still is. I know that Mercury is, for whatever reason, still aggressive. As I speak about that, I hear the dog going crazy down the stairs. It's the girl that lives there was on one all day yesterday, so I don't even have to go out of my house to feel the aggressive energy. It's just all around me, and I have wanted nothing to do with that. I love solitude, though, where some people might think that a retreat is like surrender or some kind of place of, licking your wounds or, hiding out or whatever. I find power in solitude. I love connecting with the divine and just being at peace in my own little comfort zone. Of course, I will step out if I need to. I'm not afraid of that by any means, but I just have always been raised an only child. I felt very focused and balanced and just connected in solitude, and I thrive in it. So I wanted to do my message today about confidence, about how confidence is quiet and insecurity is loud. I have definitely a lot of experience dealing with insecurities around me being very loud. This is why, with the aggression and just with haters and anybody that tries to think that if they are loud, that means that they're right. If they try to push their narrative and their agenda and their smear campaigns first and have all their flying monkeys deployed, and they are spreading rumors and gossip like you wouldn't believe, rapid fire, that means that they are right. If they have more people surrounding them, that means that they're right, or this must be true. Facebook posts, memes, hateful threads, the more people that join in on it, making it as salacious as possible, like those things are insecurities, and they are very loud. They are projections. They are fueling a smear campaign by just being first, being loud, being numbered, things like that. Those are insecurities. If you were confident in who you are, what you're about, you wouldn't have to do any of that. There would be nothing to get ahead of. Your character would speak for itself. You wouldn't have to say anything. You would just be your pure, true, genuine, authentic self, and it is what it is. There would have to be no getting ahead of anything. There would never be any, I need to recruit an army against anything, because if anything, like in my last video, I was talking about, well, not my last video, it's what's recently been on my mind, because I posted some of my stories from Facebook as real, or let me start over. I posted some of my stories from YouTube as reels on Facebook, and I haven't posted on Facebook in almost 2 years. So one of them that I posted was about smear campaigns and people trying to recruit and spread lies and slander and things like that, and that it would often be, they would think that the greater the number, the more believable the story. And I also remember being sent things when I first started going through the ordeals that I had recently gone through, where people were posting things about the gloves are off, making it seem like this big fight. And in that message that I posted to Facebook, it was about how vengeance is God's, and if someone really did something wrong, it was for God to make right. It was not for you to go out and smear and attack and try to get ahead of it and gain support. All of that stuff would be handled by God if something truly needed to be made right. So just know when you use your discernment that if anyone, is as loud as a motorbike, they probably couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Thank you, Jay-Z. I'm not a Jay-Z fan, but that lyric always stands out to me when I think about insecurities being loud. And I wanted to give some examples today of a few positive mentors, some role models that you might want to go and check out, other creators that I've seen, because you can look all around and the algorithms that want you to sync up to it in this fear-based society that we live in are drama, catty fights, the things that I try to tell you guys to stay away from on social media or cable or anything that you might watch to sync up with that's full of drama, that's fight, very low vibrational entertainment that they want you to sync up with and be involved with and reciprocate in your own relationships or model those things. That I want to let you guys know about some things that I would rather watch any day versus the things that I used to think were entertainment and sync up with, so that I could give you examples of positive role models of maybe a peer of yours, something that you're into. A couple of these examples have to do with the van life because I've been very semi-obsessed with van life and tiny homes and trying to think outside of the box along with these people and get ideas from them, because I'm very inspired in how they are seeking these alternative solutions to the housing crisis, having been quote unquote homeless myself, pushed into that, and I was on a hamster wheel in order to stay off of the street and in a hotel, and even camping, which I didn't consider being homeless because it's all perspective. It was never part of my perspective. I never felt homeless because I was always provided for. I always had shelter. I always had more than anything that I needed at any given time. So maybe not everything that you want, but everything that you need when you're in this walk on your path and your purpose, as the I am. I am the I am. So are you. We all are. So I wanted to just give some examples of things that have been sticking out to me lately, and definitely people that are quiet but hugely confident in their purpose and what they're doing, that their confidence is just unbelievable, undeniable, very authentic, and they don't have to be loud at all about what they're doing, but it speaks volumes. These people have tons of subscribers. You might not have seen them. They're not like your average things that stand out. It's taken me a long, long time of watching many content creators to come across these channels. So you might have seen them, you might not, but please don't take their age as anything. We can learn from people younger than us all the time. And even though you might have a young body, you might have a very old soul, and you have incarnated into this earthly experience as a spiritual being many, 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 many times, and have much more to offer than someone who is 80 or 90 that hasn't maybe reincarnated as many times. But regardless, they may not have ever woken up to their purpose. They may not have ever woken up to their self-worth and their self-confidence that comes in walking that authenticity, walking the talk. People can say a lot of things. People talk a whole lot, but can you walk that talk? And is it authentically your walk? Does it ooze through your pores? Can real recognize the real in you when you walk that path? And are you in your purpose? Is it just exuding from everything that you do? These are some fine examples. So I wanted to talk about Ryan Toomey. Twomey. He is a van lifer. I would say he is around 30, and he's been going on his channel for around 3 years. I recently found him. He has inspired me a whole lot because not only is real and authentic and confident, very skilled, very calm demeanor, very educated. He has taught me a lot in the way that he cooks for himself because he has very limited means. He um, built his van into a living space. I think it's a Ram ProMaster. He has been traveling by himself for a long time. He talks about being his own best friend when people ask him in the comments about does it get lonely. I'm a very big fan of being your own best friend, your own cheerleader, marching to a beat of your own drum, and he does that most definitely. But he cooks these outstanding meals with very limited supplies as far as he has a 3 burner stove. He has very little sink. He has very little refrigerator. He has an oven as part of his stove, which some van lifers do not have, but he cooks like 5-star meals in his van, and often with beautiful views of where he, camps, and even stealth camps really close to the beach and all these places. He's very incognito with it. People will be like, there's no such thing as stealth camping anymore, but he pulls it off almost anywhere that he goes. The French Quarter, on the streets in Beverly Hills. Like he does these things as challenges to see if he can get away with it because people say you can't do that, and he goes and he proves them wrong, which is also part of who I am because I love when people tell me that I can't do something but it's a challenge and I'm going to do it. Anything that I put my mind to and put my energy into, I'm going to be good at. Where I just figure that it's a waste of time if you try and you don't put your all into being the best that you can be at it, whether it's been making pizzas for me, whether it's been making cakes for me, whether it's been making burritos, being a medical biller, whether it's been cleaning houses, whether it's been being a mom or a friend or a wife or a niece. Anything that I've done, I wanted to be the best at it, or why do it. I wouldn't even try if I didn't want to be top notch at it, multifaceted. And Ryan, I feel like he's had a Michelin star chef who he's become friends with and he's developing spices with that he wants to put out into the market. But I have very limited means here. I don't have any pots or pans. I have a electric skillet, and then I have an oven. And then, of course, I don't have much money to make things with, but I did not let that hold me back from buying things that I thought would pour into me, as far as letting myself know that I deserve a good meal with limited means. And I have tried to, like him, duplicate recipes from my favorite restaurants and still treat myself here. And sometimes shocked myself to learn that I have made it better than what I was eating in fine dining or my favorite places that I would pay for meals to be made for me. And he's done that too. He's replicated many things off of different menus, and his looks way better, way more ingredients. He made it for cheaper and just made himself happy in the process because he learned what he could do with the limited means, and then he poured into himself while being alone on these trips, and letting himself know that he was still worth these things, that even though he couldn't go out and buy them or be in those places, that with the very small, tiny kitchen that he works out of, being thousands and thousands of miles away from his home, his friends, familiar things to him, that he could still do outstanding things with these limited means. And I look up to him so much for that. Also, he was on Dr. Phil, and he did a segment on contributed to a segment on quiet quitting, which he used to have a government job, and he during the pandemic, as a lot of people did, they started to explore what they were passionate about. And this is when the van movement exploded, I would say, because a lot of people had time to work on their builds. And either they had the time off, they were furloughed, or they worked from home and then, were stationary there and did this in their spare time away from the computer, whatever it was, the things that they were passionate about, they had more time to pour into that and maybe not be noticed or not be considered a distraction, or how they weren't giving their all to their day job, that they could pour into that silently. And until it got up and running, they kept checking the boxes at their day job and doing what was expected of them, not going overboard, but realizing that they didn't want to be on that hamster wheel, and making a quiet exit for themselves in the background. And when they became of a certain level to sustain, if I could talk, sustain that passionate lifestyle that they were slowly making their exit into, then they could quit and live their dream, have that little slice of heaven on earth for themselves, and be at peace, and not kill themselves and have no work-life balance for someone that probably didn't appreciate them, or something that they didn't own, they didn't have ownership of. They were very oppressed by the system that they were being a slave to, and wouldn't ever receive any kind of accolades out of, nothing extra that would build a dream life for themselves, not their own business, not anything they were passionate about, something that they were just simply checking boxes, hitting the clock, doing their 40 hours. If you're on salary, a lot more. If you know, you know. And yeah, I loved seeing that he was on Dr. Phil, and he was offering that to others as a way to make their silent exit into their dream life, and to go for that, and to not broadcast it, to not talk about it while you're doing it, just silently quitting the rat race. Because that's what this fear-based society very much wants you to stay stuck in. They want you to feel like you need that, and then they keep raising the prices, and things are out of reach without being able to break away from that you're scared of living your dream, or making that leap into something that makes you happy while also making you money, because things have gotten so expensive that you can't afford to do that. And that's how I was in the hotel rooms. Like, I was making good money at the job. I was still pouring into the people that I talked to on the phone, even though it was very any call center, you're not calling there to be happy. You're calling there because you have a problem, and you're usually revved up and mad before you ever reach a person. And I took a lot of care in de-escalating, because I do have a psychology background. I worked in mental hospitals where a lot of people were angry that they were there. They were mad that they had been abandoned. They were dealing with mental issues that they couldn't understand, explain, get under control, and feel safe, secure. And they were never they were hardly ever happy. You had to bring things in to make them happy, to distract them from where they were, to give them reasons to look forward to another day, and to see the good and the potential and the positive about who they are inside, regardless of where they are on the outside. And that's so important. It's so important to keep being positive in your everyday life. That's a choice that you make every day, that you wake up to be positive. Just like Ryan could wake up on the road and be far away from home and not have seen the people that he loves for many, many, many weeks, and still choose to be positive. I'm sure he got tired and gets tired still. He has an apartment in San Diego with his brother now, so he's not full time, going hard every single day like he was in the beginning. He's trying to get some roots and still have adventures, but not be not try to push himself to evolve, even though this is how he got started, on his passionate, being passionate in his life. But going to Planet Fitness for every shower, or he's talking about how instead of finding reasons not to do something, that he tries to find a reason every day to do something, and how he's going to make it work in order to where he can do it, and not put roadblocks up for himself, or so, oh, darn, I can't work out today because I'm blah, 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 blah. No, I can work out today. And because I need to shower, I'm going to work out and get the full benefits from my membership, and not just pay to have a the place to bathe, and he has lost a lot of weight in doing that. Actually, by the by, I have lost like 13 pounds recently, and I am so excited. I think I was at 6 the last time that I talked about that on the channel, but yeah, super, super excited. Not stopping, but yeah, he's lost a lot of weight and he looks good, and a lot of people are commenting on about that. He had dropped a girlfriend that he had when he first started. I did see her on one of the videos when she was traveling with him, like mouth like to his brother who was also there. Like she was kind of making fun of how he was being a motor mouth and he was talking a lot. But that's part of vlogging. I talk a lot. I try to not make the videos so long. So sometimes I'll talk fast if I think that the video is getting too long and people won't be sticking around for that much. Thank you to my 334 subscribers though. Like I celebrate one like a million and I'm so happy to be there. Like even though there's been a hold up in my algorithm reaching lately, I'd say as of 2 weeks ago, my shorts went from 100 to 800 views down to below 30, all of them. Like it's just come to a screeching halt, and that doesn't stop me at all. I don't care if I'm reaching the algorithm as long as I'm reaching that one person that might need my message. I know that God will make a way for me to reach them because he is bigger than the algorithm. So it doesn't discourage me, even if I'm not making it out, I'm not getting the hundreds of views in the shorts, which is where most of my activity lied. I still am happy if I'm reaching people, and by slowly still growing in subscribers, I know that I am doing just that, and that makes all the difference to me. It helps me to keep going with making these messages and trying to inspire you guys and be that little bit of positive influence and encouragement that you need, because we all need that. And sometimes it's hard to dig yourself out of those sad places, but the fact that you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it, it makes a big difference, because some people never dig themselves out of those dark places. They just thrive in being in those low vibrational energies and trying to drag people down to their level instead of trying to learn how to be positive and grateful and to shine their own light in order to hone their gifts and their skills in order to be that bright light for themselves and others. They would much rather stay in those low densities, that heavy, damp, dark place, and keep pulling people back down in so that they don't have to, in comparison, see themselves in that mirror and know what they could be achieving if they put the work in and how worth it is. They would rather get that payoff from being low vibrational and just contributing to that and the easy come ups of ripping people off, and whether it be intellectual property or actual thievery, scammers, whether it be just putting people down or trying to go behind their back and sabotage, or whatever it is to try and get that easy come up or to get that payoff from doing the devil's work, which he always comes to collect on, and everything done in the dark comes to the light. So they're never truly getting ahead. They're just biding their time until their karma catches up to them, but they don't see that. They see that as this is what we know and we're getting a payoff from it, so we're going to keep doing it until our luck runs out. And most of them don't even believe in karma, which is why they keep digging and digging and digging more karmic debt for themselves. There's a choice every single day. You can choose to be like that, or you can choose to be the light, to be the beacon for others, to be the change that you want to see. And eventually it's your lifestyle, and you won't have to even make that choice. It's just automatically who you wake up and are, regardless of what's going on around you, the aggression, the low vibrations. It's just something as entertainment, just a little something in your periphery that you see but you don't want to have anything to do with, and you keep going up regardless. So that's what I'm trying to do. But welcome to my new people. Welcome back to the day ones. Even if you're haters, I hope that I'm inspiring you along the way. Even if you don't tell me or tell anyone else about it, that's fine. I still want to inspire you to get away from the groups that brought you here to hate on me. That you can get away from that, that you don't have to live like that. And it's far more rewarding when you don't. So, um, so yeah, shout out to Ryan. I'm so glad that he got away. He has a new girlfriend now, not in his personal life, but he's put it out there recently. But the girlfriend that he had, I felt like was hating on him, and that he was talking a lot. He's very successful at talking a lot, and he has over 500,000 subscribers, and people love to watch him and his authenticity and his cooking and just how smart he is and all these little tidbits that he likes to give about where he is at and how it originated and what makes that place special, and him making friends along the way that are teaching him how to fish. Like, he's very charismatic. He draws people in with his light. He learns from them. They learn from him. So yeah, anyone that is making fun of him talking a lot, that's how he's making his living. That's how he got this platform, and he's making money off of it now, and money then when he was just doing something that he was passionate about and decided to record in the process. And he said that talking to people over his channel makes him feel less lonely, even because he knows that he's bringing them along with him. It's like a lot of content creators will say we, and in the comments they're like, who are you saying we? It's just you. But they're talking about the collective we, like we, the you, all of you that's watching it along me. You're here with me in this journey on this platform. Like, we are doing this together. I wouldn't be here doing this if no one was watching me, because I want to, even if no one's watching me in the moment, I want to reach people however, whenever you come upon it. But the fact that I know that people are watching me here and now encourages me to keep going. And we are all doing this. We all need each other. We are all one. We are all connected. So it is a we. Even if you're walking your path seemingly alone, you're never alone. It's we. It's always a we. So the next person that I wanted to talk about is someone called Dual X. And I don't know his real name. It makes me think it's Alex, because Dual, Dualex, makes me think he would just have one X instead of EX if his name weren't Alex, but I'm not sure what his name is. But Dual X is an ex-military, very quiet, very skillful young man, and I don't know how young he is. He gives me young, but I'm not sure. He, of course, isn't in the military, so he's at least in his like mid-20s. But I would say he's probably around 30 like Ryan, but he builds vans. Now, he is a very, very talented carpenter. He does woodwork, he does electrical work, he does the plumbing, he sews, he's an awesome videographer. He does these crazy shots where he's spiraling into like a rear view, like a backup camera or a side camera on the vans that he's building, and then the camera comes out of the monitor where it shows the footage from that side view camera. And someone even said in the comments that the music in his videos is probably his too. It's like some scratching, a lot of like beats in the background that are very like vibing, a couple of words here and there that are probably like, that's even his music too. Because where they say you might be a jack of all trades but a master of none, he is a master of all. So I want you guys to check out Dual X. He doesn't do a whole lot of talking, but he started in talking about how the van lifers were now paying up to like 100,000 if they weren't making their own vans, like Ryan, that they were paying 100,000 to $150,000 for people to convert these vans for them if they didn't have the skills necessary to do that or didn't want to follow the tutorials. Because like with cakes, YouTube University can teach you how to do literally anything. But if they didn't want to do that, or they were not good at following those directions, and they had somebody make it for them, that they were being ripped off by the thousands and thousands of dollars. And so he started his channel by showing that you could do it in $10,000 or less, which is what Ryan did his too. He said he took out a credit card with a $10,000 limit, and he said he would not recommend that, but that is, transparency, how he did his. And then this guy said that he wanted to do the same and show people that it could be done, and that they were getting ripped off by letting these people have their services and all of their money, that it was ridiculous that you could just buy a house for that much. So he started out by doing the $10,000 van, and he made one for less. And then when people saw how skilled he was, the first video that I watched of him doing that $10,000 van, it was 8 million views. I think he's up to 888,000, 888,000, yeah, subscribers. So he is like gonna make 1 million. I'm positive of it. I think he's been going for a couple of years now, but every video that I've watched since that first one has skilled carpenters and, master craftsmen in the comments talking about how they are so impressed with him and how he is well spoken, well versed on what he's doing, and that it just keeps getting better and better and better. And he makes sure to get on there and talk to people in the comments and tell them thank you for all the compliments. And he is just very quiet, but he is a force. He doesn't have to be loud with his confidence. He is very confident in what he does, and it shows. It speaks for itself, just like what Ryan's doing and how he's walking the walk. They're both walking the walk. I think that Dual X is very in his craft. I think he lives in New York, so he's taking special orders now from lots of people, and he's just become a van builder to where he was renting out this warehouse to do this first one for a few months, and you would see at the end he was finished with the van, so he wasn't keeping the warehouse, the space that he was rented. It would all be cleaned out. But now when you see his videos, it's full of all of his equipment, of live edge wood, all these extra supplies, this and that, and the third. Now he's got like a couch in there. Like he's renting it out full time all the time now. He's got merch, like these, so does Ryan. He has his own merch. Like they've come so far from their grassroots beginning because I think they're so raw, they're so genuine, they're so passionate about what they're doing, that real recognizes real, and people cannot pass through their little domain on the internet and not see it for what it is and be just, it's awe inspiring. And so that's why I want you to check these guys out, because those are the mentors that we need. This is the content that we want to see, the people that we want to emulate. Not do the same things that they're doing, but let them inspire you into how to jump off and do your own thing and be your own person, and how to get to who you really are. Of course, I'm sure both of these guys had to do shadow work, whether they call it shadow work or not. They had to get in touch with who they are on the inside and set aside the traumas that they needed to pick apart and heal from, and forgive themselves and forgive others in order to become who they are right now. Um, it would be great if none of us had that, but most of us unfortunately do. It's fortunate if you don't. And you can just start from the get-go being who you are and not ever having anyone tainted that or hurt you or try to pull you down and dim your light and beat you up and keep you from shining the way that you were meant to. That would be great. And I hope that there's a ton of people out there like that. But in my experience, in my 47 years, I haven't met a lot of people that are where they are or where I'm at without having to sort through, the weeds to pull yourself out of the mud, to cut a lot of people away from your life and learn how to do it on your own without all of those influences, so that you could not care about the hate, that not care about what other people say, and just be you regardless. Speak your truth, live your truth, be what you need to be for yourself, and then others will see it. If you build it, they will come. And that's what's happened for these guys. They've built that thing that they were passionate about, and people come in droves and they recognize it and they call it out and they keep coming back, and hopefully it's inspired them to. I've seen some people in the comments talk about how they were inspired to build their own van, or even though they don't have anything in common with these guys, it's inspired them to do their own thing and go just as hard and just as involved as they have been in doing what they do into what they want to do for their own life, and make that separation from what they're chained to, that's not giving them the payoff, it's not giving them the the ends. They've stopped doing, just the means to the ends, and they've started doing things for the ends in itself. I have a video about that too. But there was another person that I wanted to shout out, and I really don't know a lot about her background. And I don't think she's on YouTube. If she is, I haven't discovered her on there, but I see her on Facebook Reels, and I wanted to read something that she said in her video. She does a lot of series on challenging the Christian dogma. And so she's read the Bible back and forth, and she can bring up scripture to defend what she's saying when Christian dogma tries to challenge her. She's also shamanic, healer, very spiritual. I love listening to her videos, and I haven't found one that I didn't think that she resonated with me. That she's very strong and confident. She never has to be loud. She never has to be argumentative. She's never going to fight fire with fire. And the hatred that I've seen spewed when coming out of quote unquote Christian mouths to attack the semantics that is Christianity and spirituality. But like me, I'm trying to read the Bible entirely, and I've made my way. I'd say I'm probably over half the way through, but she has done it all, and that's what I aspire to be also. But the last video that I watched of hers last night really just put a little warm and fuzzy inside of me, and I wanted to share that with you. But her name on Facebook is Mojave and Wolf, and she's a white lady with brown hair. Go check her out as well. But she said, and this is me paraphrasing, this is almost a complete quote, but a couple of things are a little off just to make it a little shorter. But she said, refuse to bow to the norm. You have a crystalline conductor inside your head, your pineal gland, your third eye, if you guys don't know what that is. When it's activated, you don't just see the truth, you broadcast it. And when enough of you are lit up, we start co-creating divine realities. But if you let it calcify, if you numb it out and ignore your body, you lose your signal. And that's tragic because your body is an antenna to source, which is God. Protect it, nourish it, light it up. Your soul is literally a beam of light. You're not just made of light, you are made to shine it. You are not meant to hide, but to be placed high so others can find their way. Shine on, you crazy diamond. The whole world is waiting on it. And that just gives me chills, even just saying it again now. That's why I wanted to put these guys up front in my video today, because their confidence speaks for itself, but it's quiet. It's not loud. It's not abrasive. It's not aggressive. It just is. Just like what is that quote about how the flowers don't have to attract the bees, they just are, and the bees come. And that's these three people, these creators that I want you guys to check out, that I am inspired by. And I know that all of you can draw strength from them, inspiration from them, love from them, because we are all love. All three of these people, and me included, we are all love. You are all love. But these people realize it, and they are trying to put that out and spread it around and let people know how special they are as well, that they see that potential that they found in themselves and that they are acting on inside everyone else. And they want you to wake up and see it and give yourself permission to live it every single day and be the best that you can be. And then try to be better than that the next day, never in competition with anyone else, because we are all one. Wanting to beat someone or be better than someone or beat them down and do harm to them is only doing harm to yourself, because we are all one. So go check them out. Don't be loud. Don't be loud. Don't be aggressive. Don't be abrasive, because that shows your insecurity and that you are projecting that in which you don't want to fix inside yourself onto others. And it's just not theirs. It's not theirs for you to taint. It's not theirs for them to absorb. It's definitely not theirs for you to throw on them and put on them and shame them and berate them and try to beat them in any way, get ahead of them, switch places with them without having to do the work. You can't do that. You have to do the work because you're never going to be able to sustain it if you don't. Even if you can steal something from someone else, you never have their essence. You've never put in the work to be able to sustain it. So if you do get a come up off of someone else's hard work and you projecting who you are that you've not done the work on onto them, you're not going to be able to sustain the life that you stole. They can because they had done the work. They know what it takes to be there, to get there, to achieve that, to deserve it, to be able to keep it. But you are just loud and you haven't done the work. You're just trying to be the pick me, who's shouting over their quiet confidence to get something that you don't deserve, that you haven't worked for, that you can't keep if you do get it. So it won't be there for long. I saw a bunch of, coincidentally, there are no coincidences. I saw a bunch of comments on my reels that I posted on Facebook from people that were like, Carrie, I've been praying for you, which I appreciate the prayers, saying, where have you been? We've been so worried. I've been on YouTube and a lot of people from Facebook. I originally posted a lot of things on Facebook from my YouTube channel when I started it almost 2 years ago. So some people have followed me over and they have commented. They know where I am. Some people that these people commented recently, they know these people. So they know that I'm on YouTube anytime that they want to come over there and see how I am and know that I'm okay. I've never been missing. I've never been sick. I've never been crazy. I've never been any of those things that those low vibrational people tried to peddle around with their scripts and their flying monkeys. I've never been any of those things. I've simply been doing me, building my new foundation with God, making the necessary changes in myself to be able to sustain the gifts that God has for me and the things that are still to come. So I noticed that some of the people that were being loud in the comments, several comments or sending me DMs, that those are the people that I had recognized were part of the problem, that were part of my business in compromise. They were working together with my family members, with my ex, with his family members, some of my supposed best friends, and this very contrived, very elaborate, drawn out plan that was definitely put in place on purpose to try and bring me down, to block things from me. That they were very loud in the comments. And just because you're loud and you have a lot of comments or you say all these nice things, you weren't walking the walk. And I saw you then, and I definitely see you now. You're never fooling anyone. It's just that when you go and confront someone, of course they're going to deny it, and then they're going to go to all of your mutuals and try to create a smoke screen so that the truth you're speaking doesn't stick to them. If they create a more salacious story about you and go tell more people than you've told, then maybe that will create some kind of divergent from them, so they don't get called out. So they're not on Front Street. They're not seen for who they are, and they can wear that mask for a little bit longer. But I saw you the whole time. So just because you're on there telling me how much you love me and how you missed me and you've been praying for me doesn't mean that I don't know who you are. I've been having a lot of dreams lately, in which I will not disclose, but because of the dreams that I've had in the past almost 2 years, I have a list of definite people that were involved in this. And so if you try to get ahead of it and be loud, I just know that you're being insecure and you're not being sincere at all, because I saw you all along, and even if I didn't, God showed it to me eventually. So you're not fooling anyone, especially not yourself, because don't be in denial. Let God work in your life. Let Him make you and mold you into the person that He planned on you being for this life He created for you. Don't run away from that. Embrace it. Even if it means some growing pains and having to let some people go and recognize what's not for you at all. It never was. And if you want to level up, it can't go with you until the next phase of your life. Just let it go. Let it go. Do the work. Do the work. I think I definitely um, did a lot of work when I realized that the people closest to me, that was always one of my points of, like a knife that my family could twist in my back, was that abandonment, that I had been taken from my mom and that I never wanted my children taken from me, and that in people leaving me, that I didn't want to be left, so I would do almost anything to keep hanging on to the things that I thought I loved and cherished and identified with, and not have it ripped away. But I found, first, that there was ascension in the betrayal, and that it cracked me open and made the shadow work and the dark night of the soul impossible for me to not go through, because I had baby stepped my way through it up until the greatest betrayal of my life. And then there was no turning back then. It was either become them or worse, or do the work. And I chose to do the work. I chose myself and to do the work and invest in me to be the best possible me that has ever existed. And that is so rewarding in itself every single day. And I want that for all of you. But I wanted to turn my pain into my purpose, that is my power. And that's what I'm doing with this channel. And that's what I plan on doing every day for the rest of my life, is using my experiences, using my love for myself and others, and being the light. Be the light. Use my intuition and to follow God. Use my discernment, my built-in lie detector, um, and keep building off of that. Take all of the stones that were thrown at me and build a freaking castle, to build a legacy, to build generational wealth, to have abundance in all things. And abundance is not just money. Abundance is whatever you need at the time to keep making your way through this life, through this journey. It could be, spreading love, being a steward, being a shepherd, being a mentor, being a cheerleader, whatever it is for others that they need, that will help you along your way still. It could be money if you need that at the time and there's no other way. If there's not money, then I've learned along this path that God will give you whatever else it is that you need. He will make a way for you in another way, that if there's no money, maybe there's another way to do a trade, to do a barter, to make it in another way, that it didn't just take money. But if it needs money, the money will be there. Like, whatever you need will always be there. God always knows what you need. He knows exactly when you need it, and He's always going to give you everything that you need and more. So you already are abundant in all things. You just have to let go and let Him show out and show you that, and you will realize that there's nothing to fear. There's never anything to fear. Any of the fear mongers, any of the fear tactics, any of the tyrants that might be in your life and around you on a daily basis, trying their best to pull you back down into those low vibrational, heavy densities. Once you have surrendered, there's no reason to fear anymore, because you know you are abundant in all things at all times, always, when you surrender to the flow that is your life, that was co-created with God for you to walk on your path and be in your purpose every single day, that it's already there. Creation is complete. Anything that you need is already there when you need it, right when you need it. So you never have to worry about that. But also with the abandonment issues, people that are closest to you that you don't want to let go of, that you often let go of last because you just don't want to believe the people that said they loved you, said they were your biggest cheerleader, that were loyal customers that you've known since, sixth grade, that you've known and been friends with since band and high school, and co-workers that you thought you would have lifelong connections with. You don't want to believe that those people don't have your best interest at heart, but often the people closest to you are the ones that know you best. They know all of your triggers, all of your traumas, all of your buttons to push, every wound in which to turn that knife in. And my biggest one was abandonment, and I turned my abandonment into sovereignty, into being a lone wolf into knowing that I am my own person and that I am already free, that I have this solid foundation with God. I'm ride or die with that. I'm focused, I'm balanced, I am stable with that at all times. Nobody can ever take that away from me, and they can never take that away from you either. So, as long as you have it, as long as you are having this human experience as a divine being, know that you were always free. You are always sovereign of everything that's trying to oppress, control you, and keep you in fear. There's no sense wasting any time or precious energy on it, because it has no power over you unless you choose to give it away. And don't ever do that. Stand in your power, speak your truth, tell your story, be quiet in your confidence, and let them kill themselves if they choose, because it's always their choice. And that's what a lot of people choose to do every day when they wake up, is to not be positive and grateful. They choose to be loud and insecure and get that payoff from the devil by being in low vibrations and being agents and doing his work for him. They have entities attached to them. They're parasitic. Parasites are feeding on them. They're trying to feed off you and drain your battery because you chose something different that has a payoff with nothing coming to collect. Those blessings are free and clear at all times. You are light as a feather. They are stiff as a board. So once you obtain that level of enlightenment and you know better, you're going to do better. I love you. God loves you. You're never alone. I'll see you guys later. Bye.